Okay, dear students, I am continuing. The vast plain of India between Himalayas to the north and the peninsular plateau to the south is formed by Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra rivers. It is an aggradational plains formed by depositional work of three major river systems, the Indus, Ganga and the Brahmaputra river. This plain is the largest alluvial tract of world extending for a length of nearly 3,200 km from the mouth of Indus to the Ganga, and which the Indian sector alone accounts of 2,400 kilometers. The greatest plain of India can be divided again four major parts. The northwest side, the Thar desert is there. Then you can see the Indus, Punjab, Haryana plain, Ganga plain and Brahmaputra plain. Okay, the northern plains. Once again recall the points. The northern plain of India is formed by three river systems. Already I told you. The Indus, the Ganga, Brahmaputra along with their tributaries. This plain is composed of alluvial soil. This soil is very fertile. Now this is the deposition of three rivers. Because of that reasons here you can see that permanent settlements. Large crowded people like to stay here. And this soil is very fertile for cultivation of crops. That's why many civilizations started the northern plain. The total area of the northern plain is about 7 lakh square kilometers. It is about 2,400 kilometer long and about 240 to 320 kilometer broad. Here you can see that 1, 2, 3 given. That is the northern plain. Okay, I think you understood. First point 1 is given Punjab plain, second part middle is given Ganga plains, and third part is Brahmaputra plains. Okay, I think clear. Numbering system. See the number 1 Punjab. Included to Punjab plain. Then middle part is included Ganga plains. Then third part is Brahmaputra plains. I think you understood. Now we can continue. The northern plains is divided into three sections. The Punjab plain, Ganga plain, Brahmaputra plain. Okay. First of all, you can go through the Punjab plains. The Indus, Punjab, Haryana plain is formed by the sediments carried by the 5 tributaries of Indus, Jhelum, Ravi, Beas, Satluj and Chenab flowing through the region. This is known as Punjab plain. The land of 5 rivers. It is primarily made up of doabs and the land between 2 rivers. The eastern part of the Punjab plain is relatively flat, but the northern part is extensively eroded by the numerous streams coming down Shivalik hills. The network of such streams is locally known as khors. And here once again we can recall Punjab plain. The Punjab plains form the western part of northern plain. This is formed by the Indus and East tributaries. Already given Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. Major portions of this plain is Pakistan. Doabs abound in this plain, Punjab. Now we can continue the Ganga plain. Most part of deltaic plain of Bengal is now in Bangladesh. The whole deltaic plain is composed of old and new alluvium and mud. It is full of marshy areas. To the north lies the Ganga Brahmaputra Doab region. This plain extends between Gagar, the Tista rivers. The northern states Haryana, Delhi, UP, Bihar, part of Jharkhand and West Bengal lies in Ganga plains. Very fertile soil, very fertile plain. Okay, I think you understood the Ganga plain. That much only I can give the explanations video. Now we can continue the Brahmaputra plain. It is your duty to read your textbook. Brahmaputra plain. This plain forms eastern part of northern plain and lies in Assam. The Brahmaputra plain extends from Sadia in the east to Dhubri in the west. Its length is nearly 640 km and width is only 100 km or less. The plain is made up of alluvium carried by Brahmaputra and its tributaries. The Indus Ganga Brahmaputra plain is the home of millions of Indians. There is no doubt. Large settlements, densely populations. You can see this Punjab, Ganga, Brahmaputra plains, means the northern plains. I think you understood. Based on the relief features, the northern plains can be, this is extra points, okay, is for your better knowledge. It can be divided into 4 regions, Babar, Terai, Bangar, Kadar, according to the soil and all. After describing from the mountains, the rivers deposit pebbles in narrow belt. The width of this belt is about 8 to 16 km and lies parallel to the Shivaliks. This region is known as Babar. It is not included in your syllabus. All the streams disappear in this region. Terai region lies towards the south of Babar belt. In this region, the streams reappear and make wet, swampy and marshy regions. Then Bangar. Bangar is the largest part of northern plain and is composed of the oldest alluvial soil. Bangar and Kadar soil is very fertile. They lie above the floodplains. They resemble terraces. The soil of this region is locally known as Kangar and is composed of calcareous deposits. And Kadar, the floodplains formed by younger alluviums are called Kadar. The soil in this region is renewed every year and is thus highly fertile. This Kadar, Bangar soil you study in 5th class and also you will study in 10th class. Okay, this is the more points, extra points about the Himalayan regions. Okay, now here you can see the northern plains of India. First given Punjab, then Ganga, then Brahmaputra regions. Okay, I think you understood. Now the peninsular plateau. The next section is peninsular plateaus. Peninsular plateau, everybody knowing plateau. Peninsula. Peninsula means what? 3 sides are covered by water. Which plateau is covered by 3 sides of water? Deccan plateau. Okay, that's why this Deccan plateau is also known as peninsular plateau. The west side Arabian Sea, east side Bay of Bengal, and downside Indian Ocean, south side Indian Ocean. 3 sides are covered by water. Okay. The peninsular plateau, the Indian plateau is also known as peninsular plateau. It is part of old landmass called Gondwana land, before I told you. It is made up of igneous and metamorphic rocks. The peninsular plateau lies to the south of Vindhya and Satpura ranges. Okay. See, Central Highlands, Deccan Plateau, Chota Nagpur Plateau. One is Central Highlands and 2 is Deccan Plateau and 3 is Chota Nagpur Plateau. For map study also you can use it. I think you understood the area. Okay, it consists of 4 parts: the Indian Plateau, Deccan Plateau, Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. More about the peninsular plateau. The peninsular plateau is a tableland. Plateau means a tableland. Surface is like a table. It is composed of oldest rocks because it was formed from drifted part of the Gondwana land. Broad and shallow valleys and rounded hills are the characteristic features of these plateaus. It's very fertile soil is there. A plateau can be broadly divided into 2 regions, the Central Highlands and Deccan Plateau. The Central Highlands lies the north of the Narmada river. The Central Highlands lies in the north of the Narmada river. It covers the major portion of Malwa Plateau. The rivers in these regions flow from southwest to northeast, which indicates the slopes of this region. It is wide in the west and narrower in the east. Bundelkhand and Bagelkhand mark the eastward extension of this plateau. The plateau further extends eastwards into Chota Nagpur Plateau. Then you can see the Deccan Plateau. The Deccan Plateau lies in the south of Narmada River. It is triangular in shape. The Satapura range makes its north part, and Mahadev, Kaimur Hills, Michael Range make its eastern part. The slope of Deccan Plateau is from west to east. It extends to the northeast, which encompasses Meghalaya, Karbi, Anglon Plateau, and north Kachar Hills, Garo, Kasi, Jaintia Hills are the prominent ranges starting from west to east. Okay, and also you can see that included Eastern and Western Ghats. The Indian Plateau begins from Aravalli Hills in the northwest. The Aravalli is from the oldest mountain system of India. In the south between Aravalli and the Vindhya ranges is Malwa Plateau. Then follow almost parallel ranges of the Vindhyas and Satapuras. The Vindhyas extends east-west directions, and you can see that the Vindhyas extend in east-west direction and form the northern boundary of the Deccan. To the northeast of the plateau is Chota Nagpur Plateau, noted for its valuable minerals deposits. To the west of Aravalli is Thar Desert. Okay. Then about the Deccan Plateau also I told you. The word Deccan means south. Okay. Deccan means south. Plateau to south of Narmada. Plateau to the south of Narmada River is the largest plateau in India. It is made up of lava flows which are several hundred meters of thick. The northern part of Deccan has some minor ranges. They are Rajmahal, Mahadeo Hills, Michael Range, and Madhya Pradesh, Ajanta, and Satmala Hills in Maharashtra. This all included. The Deccan Plateau, shape I already told you, triangular, and flanked by Western Ghats in the west and Eastern Ghats in the east. Okay. All explanations I given. Now Western and Eastern Ghats. They make the western and eastern edges of the Deccan Plateau. The average elevations of Western Ghats 900 to 1600 meters. Compared to 600 meters in case of Eastern Ghats, the Eastern Ghats stretch from Mahanadi Valley to the Nilagiri to the south. The Western Ghats causes oceanographic rains as they face the rain-laden winds from the west. Okay. I think the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats also you understood. I can give difference between the Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats. Okay. The west side of the Deccan Plateau you can see Western Ghats. Western Ghats flank the Deccan lava plateau on the west, but the Eastern Ghats border of peninsula interior of the east. The Western Ghats, these have a general altitude ranging from 900 to 1100 meters. But Eastern Ghats, they are not so high and consist of discontinuous line of hills. And here Western Ghats you can see, these Ghats are generally forested with the character of vegetation changing from evergreen to deciduous varieties. While the Eastern Ghats, the northern hills are more forested than the southern hills. These are the difference you can see the Eastern and Western Ghats. Now we can continue to the Indian desert. Okay, about the Indian deserts. You all knowing the deserts, about the Indian desert. It is the sandy desert in northwest India and eastern Pakistan, looking very, like a golden color. The plain is also called the Great Indian Desert or Marusthali. Okay, Marusthal or Marusthali. This desert is also known as Thar Desert. You all know this desert, our Indian desert is also known as Thar Desert. The western part of desert is covered by shifting sand dunes, locally known as drain. And the eastern part of deserts up to Aravalli range is semi-arid plain called Rajasthan Bagar. And also you can see the most important river is Luni, which flows southwards to the Rann of Kutch. North of Luni basins there are several saltwater lakes, Sambar and Kuchman. Okay, the Kuchman and Sambar lake also you can see where in Rajasthan. Luni is only one small river. The Central Arid Zone Research Institute in Jodhpur is using the latest technology of remote sensing to study the extensions of desert area in this region. Now you can see that the desert region is extending not only in one direction, all the direction desert is extending. Here you can see with the yellow color. With the yellow color you can see the Thar desert, in yellow color you can see the Thar desert. The Great Indian Desert is also known as the Thar Desert. It's a large arid regions in the northwestern part of Indian subcontinent. With an area of more than 2 lakh square kilometer. It is the world's 9th largest subtropical desert. Okay. I think you understood. Rajasthan means it is very easy to understand. The Indian desert lies towards the western margins of the Aravalli Hills. This region gets scanty rainfall which is less than 150 millimeter in the year. Okay, 150 millimeter in the year. Hence, the climate is arid and vegetation is scanty. Only 25 centimeter rainfall only getting to where? In desert. Luni is the only large river, I already told you. But some streams appear during rainy season. Crescent shaped dunes, sandy dunes abound in this area. See, this is the Thar Desert. Indian Desert, Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. You can see that. Now, we can continue the coastal plains. Coastal plains. The coastal plains, Peninsula Plateau is flanked by a stretch of narrow coastal strips. They run along the Arabian Sea on the west and along the Bay of Bengal on the east. The western coast lies between the Western Ghats and Arabian Sea. It is divided into 3 sections. The Konkan, which comprises the Mumbai and Goa, makes the northern part. The Kannada or Kannada Plain makes the central part and Malabar coast makes the Malabar coast. The western coastal plain is wider and level. It runs along the Bay of Bengal. It is divided into 2 parts. The northern part is called Sircar, and the southern part is called the Coromandel coast. Extensive deltas are formed by large rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari and Kaveri. The Chilka Lake is an important feature of along the eastern coast. Okay, here you can see the coastal plains. Malabar coast, first one you can see that you already seen that Bay of Bengal is there, Arabian Sea is there, and the coasts. In south side you can see that the Konkan coast, Malabar coast, and okay, now you can continue to the island groups of India. The island groups of India. And before that, just to recall the coastal region. The Gujarat plains, it lies the South Thar Desert. It is also occupied the state of Gujarat. The Kutch Peninsula also consists of very low and level land. It is also known as Rann of Kutch and was once of shallow arm of sea, but now it is silted up. And the Gulf of Kutch and Gulf of Kambat, there are some important area you can see where in Gujarat. 4 important rivers Narmada, Tapi, Sabarmati, Mahi drain the area of Gulf of Cambay. And the western coastal plains you can see between the Western Ghats and Arabian Sea. These stretch from Kutch in north and Kanyakumari in the south. The coastal strips in Maharashtra is called Konkan coast. Okay, the coastal strip in Maharashtra is called, first you can see Konkan coast. In Karnataka it is known as Canara coast. Further south you are going towards to Kanyakumari, that is known as Malabar coast. Okay, all along the coast there are numerous streams, but all them short in length and limited in catchment areas. And also here you can see the picture of Eastern Ghats. Once again we can recall the eastern coastal plains. The eastern coastal plains extend from mouth of Ganga to Kanyakumari. The northern half of coastal plains is called northern Circas. The southern half of the Nellore to Kanyakumari is also known as Coromandel coast. You are studying in history also. All along the eastern coast, the eastward flowing rivers have created a large deltas as they bring vast quantity of alluvium. The prominent deltas are, you know, Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri. Okay, and also there are several lakes also you can see in coastal regions. Now we can go through the last part, the islands groups. You know, the Andaman Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands are the main part of island groups. An island, everybody know an island is any piece of subcontinental land that is surrounded by water. All sides are surrounded by water. The Lakshadweep Islands are in Arabian Sea. Its area 32 square kilometer. And administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep is Kavaratti Island. This group of island is rich in terms of biodiversity. Then you can see the east side Andaman and Nicobar Islands are the bigger in size and has more number of islands. This group of islands can be divided into 2 groups. The Andaman is the north and Nicobar is in south. These islands too have rich biodiversity. Andaman Nicobar Islands, these islands groups are